Okay, we'll get started with Craig Kimbrel. Who's got the first question for Craig? We can start straight back.
Craig, you obviously played in Philadelphia as a visitor quite a bit. There was that game where they mocked you behind home plate. What has been kind of the difference between playing as a Brave and other teams as a visitor and as a Philly at home?
I mean, can y'all hear me good? I don't know. The difference is getting cheered for or yelled at. Philly has always been a place, like you talked about. It's been a long time pitching there, and it's always been a place I've always enjoyed going in just because, the atmosphere, the fans, you never know what you're going to get. And it's the fun part about this game. But yeah, it definitely feels a lot better this year. Kind of have them behind me, cheering me on instead of trying to mock me or make fun of me.
Andy on the right.
Craig, you've been doing this job now for a long time, and I imagine as you get older, physically it gets more challenging. But what I'm curious is that at your age now, what are the parts of the game that come easier to you than they did when you were like 22, 23, 24?
That's a lot. You're right. As you get older in this game, there are aspects that get easier and some that get harder. Obviously, getting up, getting going every day. The older you get, the tougher it gets, but it's just a little bit more work you got to put in. I think the biggest difference, though, is sometimes not letting the game speed up on me. When I was younger, I pitched on, and I still do at times, pitch on a lot of emotion, a lot of adrenaline. Would get away from thinking about pitches, and at times just thinking that sometimes that I could just throw a pitch, by a guy or throw a curveball that they couldn't hit instead of really just thinking about game plans and things like that. I would say today I feel more confident about the pitches that I throw, just because I've done more homework and have more understanding of certain pitches guys can and can't hit.
So, if I can ask one more, just how do you control your adrenaline when almost every time you pitch, it's usually like the highest leverage spot in the game?
Well, it's like you said, I'm usually in a spot where it's a high leverage. Fans are into it. Pivotal moment in the game. So I wouldn't say I'm used to it, but I'm definitely comfortable in the spot. The big moments, the spots, they're not moments that overwhelm me. They're moments that bring me back every single year because those are the moments that I want to be in. It's the funnest part about this game.
Over here on the left, Juan, and then Pete.
Hey, Craig, obviously last year was kind of a tough year for you towards the end, got left out the postseason roster. How tough was that, and does that make you kind of appreciate some of these moments?
It definitely makes me appreciate this. It was a tough pill to swallow at the end of last year. Having my ups and downs, at times throwing the ball well, and then at times looking like I shouldn't even be out there or have a jersey on. So it definitely, it stung. I pitch to be in these moments, to help teams finish games off and finish off meaningful games. And to not get that opportunity last year definitely stung. And to be sitting here talking to y'all at this moment this year, it feels pretty good to be here.
I know Candy kind of talked about this, and I'm sure other closers have talked about this in the past, that they want to be the guy who gets the last out of the World Series. How much is that kind of something that you think of that you kind of want to achieve before your career kind of comes to an end?
It'd be awesome. It'd be so cool. But at the same time, I have an understanding that my spot to be important and useful might come at a different point during the game. And if it's not the last out, and if it's at a different point, and I do my job, I'll be just as happy.
Pete.
Craig, this is 14 years for you. You've won a ring. You've been an all-star. You've done a lot of things. What motivates you, after a season to want to come back again?
Man, I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to be able to compete. I've been blessed and gifted in an ability, and been able to use it for a while now, and to still have it and to still be able to go out there and compete at the highest level and have fun doing it. There's no reason not to come back and keep on playing.
You kind of just mentioned it, but how, I guess, have you come to grips with the idea that managers now don't necessarily use a traditional closer? Sometimes, the other day, you pitched in the 7th and 8th inning. You've always been a guy who was that traditional closer. How have you sort of adjusted to the idea that that's not always going to be the case?
Well, I've been getting used to it over the last couple of years. It's just, I mean, this year isn't the first time I've done it. You know, wouldn't say I did very great at first, but having a better understanding. I mean, with Topper, the communication that we have with each other is great. He gives me an idea of what he has in his head and relays it, not just to me, but every single one of us. And just having that, knowing that, prepares us to be ready for kind of like just about everything that we see in the game that might come. We're prepared for it.
On the right side, Jeff, and then Jesse.
Craig, back in 2018, there was a vibe around the Red Sox from the beginning of the postseason that this team was different. This team was special, and you guys went out and fulfilled that. I haven't seen you in person yet, but from afar, it seems like the Phillies have the same sort of thing going. Have you felt that, and are there any similarities that you've noticed between those two teams?
I mean, y'all are watching the same guys I am. Our starting pitching has been great. We've banged the ball out of the ballpark, and our bullpen's been great. We've really checked off all the boxes we need to up to this point. So it's really easy to think that you want to compare to other winners, right? But we still have a lot of work to do. We still have a lot of games to win. But when it comes to vibes, from the moment that I signed with the Phillies, the goal is to get back to the World Series and to win the World Series. So I think we've had that mentality from day one to show up every day. Obviously, it's to win every day, but it's to get back to that moment and get back to that chance. And you don't do it unless you expect to do it. And I see a group of guys who show up every day expecting to win, expecting to do their job and to do it to the best of their ability. And we also have a lot of guys who trust each other. You can't do it all by yourself, but when you got a team of guys who are willing to lean on each other, there's a lot of good that can come out of that.
Jesse.
Craig, you've played with Nick Castellanos in two different places now. Have you ever taken the time to figure him out?
I talk to Nick all the time.
Well, tell us, what's he about?
Nick's a great guy. He really cares about what maybe you might think or how you may be viewing something. A very big perspective guy. I love him to death. I know at times, like in conversations, he might be hard to understand, but I understand everything that man says. He makes a lot of sense to me.
Do you get a kick out of some of the interviews he does, national TV and stuff like that?
Yeah, I like Scooby-Doo too.
Straight back.
Craig, has it been difficult as your career's going on to kind of accept being a mercenary, kind of that as a reliever you're on a different team in a different city, sometimes two in one season?
I was reminded at a young age, as a reliever, don't get too comfortable. Part of your job is moving around. Especially if at times you sign with a team that expectations are high and they don't get there. Well, sometimes that means you're on the move, and that's just part of the game.
Bob.
Greg, what's it been like second time around with Dave Dombrowski? I mean, you almost think he shares like the same mindset as veteran players, like wants to win it all now, not worrying about rebuilding or resetting, but win it all or nothing.
I mean, when you're on the team, you want a guy that's thinking about winning right now, right? You don't. I didn't come here for a rebuild. I came here to win. And having Dave Dombrowski around, he's always part of organizations that are about win now, and that's what we're doing.
Barry.
Hey, Craig. How do you going back to LA? When you have a kind of an off year, although your numbers are pretty much the same from last year to this year, when it gets shaky and you come back and straighten it out, what's the difference between what happened this year and what happened last year?
Well, I think situationally, there are, you have numbers, but then you also have moments in games. Like you said, the numbers aren't that different. But the way I was able to control a larger number of games, I was able to pitch in a lot more games. That my usage, I felt like, was a lot more consistent. All things that I felt like helped me stay on a good roll. I went on a pretty good run in the middle of the summer this year, and kind of took off with it, and was able to close out a lot of ball games. Kind of hit a point, I think, because of usage in August where I gave up some runs, because this is the most innings I've thrown in 13 years. And then was able to kind of step back in September and reset myself and go on a good run for the last part of the year. I think like you said, I'm wondering what the biggest difference is being able to go out and face the first batter and walk them and not let it completely ruin my night. Being able to be a professional and step off the back of the mound in 20 seconds, that's all I got. But take a breath and lock back in and get the job done. And not say, hey, where are my mechanics? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? And just stepping up back on the mound and competing, and knowing that as long as I'm thinking about competing and getting the guy out, that good things are going to happen. And I'm not battling myself. I'm actually competing against the guy in the box. That's the biggest difference.
So I imagine a lot of this is confidence.
I would say so. I think at any level, at any position.
No matter what success you've had in the past, it's a constant reaffirmation.
Yeah, I mean, when you've been doing it for 13 or 14 years, I don't still throw 100, right? But I still have the ability to make guys swing and miss, and just understanding and being a smarter pitcher and knowing that.
Okay, just one out of left field here. As Hall of Fame voters, it's always hard to judge us how to put relievers into the Hall of Fame. In this era, to me, it's you, Chappie, Kenley. What do you think about the whole realm of you going to the Hall of Fame, and how the vote is going to go for that?
I mean, it's not really something I have control over, right? All I can do is show up and do my job and try to do it great, and continue to do that. The names that you've thrown out there, we've all been in the league for about the same time, and we've all had really good careers. But I think there's also a couple guys that I think need to get in there before any of us even have a conversation to even be on that list.
Who are they?
Well, I think we can name them.
Wagner, guys like that?
Well, yeah, I think you just said it.
All right, Craig, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all.